Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Carol's Corner. I love that I have this opportunity to explore some of the things that I've learned at the Biblical History Center since I started working here 2 years ago as a docent. Now, if a question is asked of me by a guest and I don't know the answer, I'm very quick to run to get help. Christy, our Director of Education and Programming, and she's such a great biblical scholar. She always knows the answer, or she knows where to look for the answer. So recently I was asked this: tell me about the eye of the needle. What does that mean, and how does it fit with what's here at the Biblical History Center?
Jesus says in the New Testament that it is easier for a camel to walk through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And so scholars have tried to interpret this in many different ways. Some people take it literally, a giant camel entering the eye of a needle. That's impossible, right?
Right.
Or other people seem to think that there was a mountain pass called the Eye of the Needle, and it was very dangerous, very narrow, and it took very careful steps to travel through this mountain pass. So it's not impossible for a camel to pass through the Eye of the Needle, if that's the reference, but it is still incredibly difficult. Other scholars think that maybe it was referencing a city gate. City gates would often close at dusk and then reopen again at dawn, so that the inhabitants of the city could be protected very safely. But if you're a merchant trying to get your merchandise into town, you might come after the large gates have closed. Usually there's a smaller gate through which you can enter, but it would only be the size of a person, not necessarily big enough for a whole camel to get through. So you would have to take off all of the camel's saddles and bags and all the excess stuff in order for them to be able to fit through that small person-sized hole. So maybe that was what they're referencing when it talks about it's easier for a camel to enter the eye of the needle. It's difficult. You have to lay aside every encumbrance in order to go through that narrow space. No matter what Jesus was implying there, which story is he kind of leaning towards on that, we're not 100% sure, but we definitely know that he's implying that it is very difficult for a camel to go through the eye of a needle and for a rich man to enter heaven.
Well, you know, the funny thing is we're right here at the gate, and I'm remembering the day that I met a real camel here at the Biblical History Center. I'm also remembering that camel did not want to go through our gate.
He did not.
It happened to be a very, very rainy day. The camel didn't want to go, and this is what I saw. The camel stuck all four legs out and refused to move. That's the image I get of camels and the gate, and it happened right here at the Biblical History Center.